Hi, my name is Sherry and I am with Sherry's Cards, and I teach rubber stamping and crafts of different kinds. And today I am going to show you a fun card that is for, well, it can be really for anybody. It can be for little boys or big boys or older boys or even girls. My daughter would like the card. And you can kind of switch it up and do different things with it. Mine has kind of a superhero theme. And if you are like the millions of people that have gone to see the Avengers movie, then you might like it too. But you could switch the colors up and make it any kind of card, really. And I work for a company called Stampin' Up. And if you've not seen my videos before, then I'm going to show you how to make this card. And this particular stamp set is part of our 2018-2019 catalog, so it ends soon. So if you're not familiar with the thing, if you've stumbled onto it because of the superhero theme, then go over to my website and you can see all of the other things and see some of the how-tos and the beginner things. And if you're interested in getting a catalog and finding out more about the products, then you can do that there. But these things, the particular things I'm using today, do end soon. So if you like this, then you would need to get it quickly. And you can always message me and comment down below, or message me on my website for much more information. So I'm going to show you today how to make this card. Like I said, this stamp set and the dies that I'm going to use to cut them out, they are going away at the end of May. So if you love them, get them soon. But let's get going on today's card. So I am going to use, this is how I'm going to clean the stamps, and it's dirty, but I didn't want to get it super wet, so I'm going to go with it. So I am going to use, it's a soda bottle set, or a beer bottle, craft beer, or kind of whatever. So if you're making it for older guys, which I'm kind of doing that today, so I'm going to go with, I don't want to spoil the movie if you haven't seen the movie, because I've seen it, but Thor's going to be kind of the star of the beer bottle, but my younger grandnephews and nephews love to go see these movies with me as well. So you can switch the bottles up, so they can be sodas or pop or whatever. So I'm going to use Call Me Clover, and you can go over to my website and you can see all of the supplies and the links to buy them and the different colors if you already have some of them. So don't worry, you don't have to catch all the colors. So here is Call Me Clover, and then you can see most of the ink comes off when I see it. But this is a chamois that you can get, and it just has water on it. So you just take that off, then just switch colors. Shut that up. We have lots of different colors of ink, lots. And then everything matches. This is Mango Melody. So you can tell I've got Hulk here. We're going to go for Thor. He's my personal favorite superhero. Everybody needs a little comedy in their lives, as well as a little Aussie. My family, my husband is an Aussie, and my daughter was born there when we lived there. So we're half American, half Aussie. So Captain America would be my second favorite. But here's the heart of the end game. So let's do Iron Man. We're doing the original Avengers. So we're doing 4 bottles, and then the card itself is going to be Black Widow. So here we have Iron Man. Oh, and while I've got the red open, this is real red. Pop it back open. We've got some little sayings. This one says, have a birthday brew. And if you don't want to do it for somebody that's over 21, then there's some sayings that come in the stamp set that talk about your birthday bubbling over. So you could switch it and just put some bubbles on it. And then here we have a star, and this is going to be for Captain America, because this is definitely Captain America's star. And then we have Blueberry Bushel, and this is going to be for Cap's bottle. Switch, make sure we wash it, otherwise we'll have a purple bottle, and you know, none of the original Avengers are purple. And you can see it looks like it's dirty. This is a photopolymer stamp set. which means they're see-through, but inks do stain them. It doesn't mean that they're dirty. It just means that the inks over time stain them. We have red rubber as well, and those don't stain. So there's our bottles, and there's some little words on them. And that's all of the actual stamping that we need. Oh no, I guess there's some black. Let's get the black done. I'm gonna go ahead and clean this one off. And this is, it's kind of like a fat chamois that you use to wash your car. And when it gets too much ink in it, eventually you just take it over to your sink and just run it out. And you'll see all of this ink come out, and kind of like our stamps, you'll see some of the images stay in it, but all the ink comes out and it's just clean again. And this lasts for a long, long time. So I've had mine for ages, and lots of people use it because I do classes in my home. I do classes with other Stampin' Up! Demonstrators, and they just keep cleaning. So this is our black ink, and let me see which stamp I want. I want the one that says yay. It's right here. I'll put it on here, and these are, I'm going to cut them out. That's why they're just randomly stamped on this piece of white cardstock. So here we have all of our images. Is that all I need? I think it's all I need for this. And then our actual card, I have a piece of gray here, and then a piece of black. This is gray granite, and this is a piece of black foil. So I'm not going to stamp on either of these, but I am going to stamp on this one. So I'm going to fold it in half. It's going to be our card base. So it's, all of our cardstock comes 8.5 by 11. So you get 2 cards from each one. So I've just folded it in half. And then there's some bubbles that come in this set, like some fizzy bubbles. So I'm just going to go around the edges because the 2 black pieces are going to cover up the middle of the card. So if you're having a party, you could make invitations, or you could make party favors, or you could make scrapbook pages afterwards. There's a lot you could do to have a continuing theme with this. If you have little boys, it's especially fun to do that. And you could just pick a favorite superhero. My little boys, their favorite superhero is Spider-Man. So at first I had him included on the card, but 5 bottles was kind of a lot, and he's not an original, so he got lopped off. Sorry, Spidey. But it was just a little bit too much. And I'm doing these, if you're in the Indianapolis area, I do classes in my home once a month, and this is one of the cards the ladies will be making this month. And so, partly due to time, I was like, we don't need one more bottle on here to satisfy my little nephews who won't be here making the card. So this is going to get mounted on here. And then the rest of it, it's all cutting out and mounting. So we're getting close to being done. You can see it's super easy. And it doesn't matter if any of that was perfect because a lot of it gets covered up. So this here is called an embossing folder, and this one has stars on it, and it is also one of our products that we'll be leaving at the end of May. These are super fun, and they add texture to your card. I've already got ink on me. You get a little dirty when you do this. It's kind of fun. Takes you back to childhood. So the top of these is where it says Stampin' Up, so I'm going to put this through here. And then currently we have a machine called a Big Shot, and it also is going away at the end of May. If you don't have one of these, you can get other machines that also will run our dies. We're coming out with a new one. We don't have it yet. But if you want to buy this one, right now I'm having some specials. So go to my website. I currently am running most of them on the weekends. So check a weekend in May, and then you can get one. I love mine. I have 3 of them. 3 of the same one. Excuse me. And we've had these for about a little over 15 years, I think. And I've had one of mine for 15 years, and it's still going strong. So you can buy one, and it will always work with our dies. So you roll this through here, and it puts texture in your paper. and it just adds a whole lot. So here's our ode to Black Widow, because you know, sometimes the boys don't care if she's on the card, but I do, and she played a major role in the end game. So I wanted her on the card, so there she is. So these are called dies. Oops. And we're going to use these to cut them out. So I have one bottle. So we're going to have to roll it through a few times to get all of our bottles. That was why, one of the reasons that Spidey got hacked. And then these are different ones that cut the different shapes out. So let's lay these on here, and we'll just run them through a few at a time. So there's different, the machine comes with all these pieces, and you just roll them through. And you'll see in just a second if you've never seen one of these cut before. And if you have, you know they're super easy. It just takes one pass through, and it literally just cuts it out for you. So on most cards, you don't cut this many things. So this is kind of a special card. It has lots of cutting. Some cards you just have one thing and you're done. This one's just going to have a few more. But the overall result's so much fun that it's worth it. It doesn't really take that long, and it's far quicker than ever doing it by hand. Let's see, I need this one, this one. I'm going to use some different colors, and so if you want to, you could like run multiple things through one time, and as well as the white, get some other stuff up here. But to me, it's just as fast to work with what you've got up here, and just keep rolling them through. So 2 more bottles, because sometimes when you go to a lot of trouble to line several things up on this, then one of them moves, and then you have to place them all. And this machine is also easier to use if you're standing up, and when I film, I sit down. Just because it's, I actually prefer to stamp standing up, but the way that my filming is, I have to sit for my tripod. So that bottle right there is not the best. So it doesn't have to be perfect. Okay, so that's it for our bottles. Part of the charm of hand making a card is the fact that it's handmade, so don't feel like it has to be perfect. Okay, so now we've got all these little pieces here. So first I'm going to throw this silver piece up here. And I've got, these are tiny little bottle caps. And these are super cute and super fun. So I'm just going to put 4 bottle caps up here because I have 4 bottles. And the dies happen to come with 4. And then there's this little medallion here. I might be able to fit it on here. Yep. So we got all those, and then I have this one. I'm going to be able to do more than one thing at once. I have a red heart, and then I have a green circle, and then I have, these are actually straws, but we don't need straws because this is a birthday brew, and you know, nobody's going to drink their birthday brew with a straw, but we're going to use them for something else. So I'm going to lay them on here. Maybe this is not the right piece. Maybe this is the right piece. Or maybe I cut 2 pieces for it. Sometimes when you have all these little pieces, it's hard to remember exactly which piece was cut for what. Maybe it goes like this. I'm just going to do one at a time. I think it goes like that. And then we'll just get the other one on the next pass. So I'm just going to send all these through at once. And these not only cut, sometimes they cut and they also leave a little impression. And that's what some of these do. So I'll show you some of those. Whoops. Well, I dropped that one. But I only need one, so I'm not going to pick it up. I keep this little tray here so I don't lose them. So this one, let me show you. It's really cute when it's the whole straw, but I don't need the whole straw. So you can see it cut, and it also leaves the little marks in it. And if you go to my website, I'll take some close-ups of the card and you can see those better. So I don't need that one. I don't want to cut the same straw twice. And now I have my little heart. And then I have, this medallion does the same thing where it cuts. It's actually a bottle cap. So you can see that it cut and it left some impressions on it. So get all of my bottle caps. I'll lay those over there because they didn't all pop out. And I get to make other one of these. And then I need another one of these. I'm trying to figure out what I need. And then I need a yellow one of these. Oh, and one of them I don't see one of my pieces. But you know, when you have tons of these, sometimes that happens. Where'd I put it? There it is. Okay, and I need a blue one of these. And then I think that's all. I may get to the end and find out that I'm missing something, and we may have to roll it back through because this has a lot of pieces, this card. Most of my cards don't have this many pieces, but because I'm doing the 4 bottles and they're all a character. So we'll roll these through and then we'll see if I have everything that I need. This is from another card. Okay, so let's start sticking it all together. I do need that little heart. So this is adhesive, and there's several different kinds of adhesive you can use. This is a sticky one. It's not most people's favorite, and we don't carry it anymore, but at one point we had a huge clearance on it, and it came back, so I stocked up. And there are actually ones that are easier to work with. So let's start over here on the edge, and I'm going to go from the edges and work in, because that way you can have these two on the edge be balanced. Whoops, I need to put Black Widow on here first. So I have my stars. So almost all of our adhesives roll like this, although there are a couple of glue ones that work just like glue that you had when you were in school. So I just wanted a little bit of a matte background so it wasn't all super shiny. So here we go. And you have this. And then let's get these, all of the dies always have a little hole so you can pop the die out of the paper. And then just put a little bit of adhesive up here on the top. And stick your cap on. Stick the cap on cap. Here, I'm going to get this one over here because it's already flipped upside down. So just stick the little silver caps on top of them. And then for cap, I need, maybe this is one, no, here it is. I forgot I didn't take everything off my machine. So here I've got my silver bottle cap that I'm going to use for the back of his shield. So stick this on your bottle here. And like I said, if you just have a favorite character, or you could look at all of them. What I did was I went to Google and I just Googled the character's name. So like well, for Captain America, I actually did not because he's super simple. But I did like comic Thor. And then I did iconic because those tend to be the older comic characters tend to be bold and more simplistic colors. So like I did Thor, iconic, comic. And then you can kind of pull out the colors and more of the simple like lines to kind of figure out, because I just wanted to use what was included in this set. So, but you could do that for any of the, you know, if you like somebody from Guardians of the Galaxy or one of the other, you know, if you like Captain Marvel, just do that for any of them. Okay, now you can see on this one, I did not cut it very well. And so it's kind of off the top, but once I put this cap on the top, it's going to fix it. And once you, so don't feel like everything has to be perfect, because we're not perfect. And if if it's going to be framed, like this would make a super cute framed piece. Not make it a card, but you could do something framed. And if I was going to do that, maybe then I might send it back through to make it a little bit perfect. But look, it's already fixed. So it doesn't have to be perfect. The person you give it to is not going to notice that it's all not cut out exactly the way you think it needed to be. So here I've got Iron Man's little patterns that are on his Iron Man suit. Let's stick his little logo on here. And then we're going to give him his little silver thing that Tony wears on his shirt. And maybe your kids like it and you don't like it as much. But that's okay. You can go and Google it, or ask your husband, or ask, somebody that you do know. And he was kind of the heart of this one. So we gave him the heart. Put him over here. Okay, and then we're going to do Thor. So we need his. And this was really where I needed to, like I said, Thor is my favorite. But I tried to figure out a hammer. There was no hammer pieces that I could really get out of this stamp set. And the dies. And I wasn't really sure what colors. But when you look at his iconic comic, it was easier to get some colors because he was yellow, red, and blue. As most of the iconic characters were bold and simple colors. So put his cap on. And then I, other than his hammer, he has his helmet. So I went with his helmet. And that's where I needed my straws. So he has his arrows on his helmet, so I'm going to go with his arrows here, but I don't need them to be super long. So put some adhesive in here that you can have kind of his arrows stick out just a tad. You don't want them giant. And the nice thing is it looks a tiny bit comical, but he's the comic bit of the movie. And his movies are really the funny ones. And then just trim them so they're kind of even. Just kind of like that. And then, he spends a good bit of in-game enjoying a beer. So he was perfect to have a birthday brew. And it's up to you if you're giving this to a child. If they saw Endgame, they're going to know that that was the part that Thor played. So let's stick this here. Or you can go with one of the other sayings. And then we've just got Hulk. So he needs his cap. And if you already have a lot of stamp stuff and you're already a Stampin' Up! Person, by all means feel free to combine sets, because there are all kinds. You could easily make a hammer. You could easily add pieces to any of these to get them to look far more like their characters. But I was just trying to stick with the one stamp set for this. So, you could go Iron Man, just an Iron Man card, and take it full-blown Iron Man if you add some other. And then I just added another green piece, obviously, so he's all green. So there you go. You have all 5 of the OG. And if you're giving it to somebody that's a super Avengers fan for their birthday, you could maybe even include like a shawarma gift card or something. And just movie gift card, or maybe a voucher or something so they can get the in-game movie when it comes out. So I hope you enjoy that. If you're new to stamping and you want to make this, feel free to email me or comment below and ask me any questions. But to get this, you do need to order the supplies, at least the stamps and the dies and the machine, before the end of May. But you can go to my website, and this weekend I will be having specials, so it will help you get everything that you need. Not everything's leaving by the end of May. On this card, it's mainly the stars, the stamps and the dies, and then the machine. But it's super easy. It's a great fun hobby to have, and I would be happy to help you get started. So have a super fun day. Bye.